Hi everyone, I'm Alan.
I'm Katie.
And welcome to Win the Day Project, where we talk about all things systems and systems thinking. Today, we are talking about happiness.
Woo-woo!
And a simple tool that we can use, or that we're going to show you how to use to figure out where you are from a happiness standpoint, and then what to do to improve how happy you are in life. I know it's a broad statement and a big topic, but we're excited to talk about what we've experienced, and hopefully it can bring you some value.
If you are new to our channel, please go ahead and subscribe. Click the bell so you can be notified anytime we post new content. And of course, if you are looking to learn how to be happier in your life, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. If you like it, it helps us with that algorithm and we can get our message out to others. So let's dive in.
So, what is happiness? Well, I think we all understand that happiness it can range from just, I'm a little excited that this happened, wow, that's great, to over the moon, excited, feeling overwhelmed, like the happiness is so high in our brains and body that we cry. And I think all of us have experienced both of those, and in between. It's elusive, happiness. You can seek it out, you can desire it, and you can't, sometimes you find yourself, you can't find it. I know for me that was true when I hit my rock bottom. I've talked about it before on this channel. It's a weird thing. I wanted to be healthy, but I was actually overweight and pre-diabetic. I wanted to be rich and wealthy, but I was broke. I wanted to be in a happy relationship. But I found myself in the middle of a divorce at my rock bottom. So it's weird that although we say we want to be happy, we keep taking actions and steps every day that somehow make us unhappy.
Yeah, and for me, a lot of what Alan experienced was also true, right? My rock bottom, I was also going through a divorce. I was overweight. Doctors were trying to put me on medication to lower my cholesterol or my blood pressure, and I didn't want to deal with that. I was determined to try and figure out a better health option for myself than medication. But also on top of, kind of what Alan's expressed, I didn't actually know what long-term happiness looked like. I was living literally moment to moment, and the decisions I was making were like trying to fill a void in the immediate instead of thinking bigger picture. Am I working towards some bigger goal? So I got stuck in that hamster wheel of like just being and not actually getting to experience what true happiness feels like, because it was literally in the exact moment. I think this is what I should do now. Right.
So there's a great author, Peter Senge. He wrote a book called The Fifth Discipline. It's really a business book. It's a fascinating read. I highly recommend it. But one of the things he talks about in that book is this idea of creative tension. And he describes creative tension as the notion that in a business, there's this expectation, this future vision that the company has of itself, and in its current reality. And those two things are pulling on each other, and it's causing a ton of tension. And in those moments, you have the opportunity to make a choice. You can either lower your expectations, or you can use that energy to raise or change the things necessary in the business to raise the level of performance to go ahead and achieve those expectations. Now, if we extend that thought to personal goals and happiness, I felt that tension, the tension between the life or the person that I've always wanted to be, and then specifically when I was at rock bottom, where I actually was. And so there was this stuckness, this aggravation, this frustration that Peter Senge calls tension, but I think we've both experienced that tension. But now the question is, what do we do about it? Well, Katie, luckily, married a systems thinker. Which means when we can see things, measure things, track things, we can change things. So we created a little chart, a little tool, sort of understand where we were when we were at our rock bottom, and how we went about changing those things and changing our happiness level as a result. So let's go ahead and take a look at this little chart.
We are going to use myself, if I go back to where I was at rock bottom, as the entry example for this. And what we're looking at here are just general activities that whether I was doing or the average, American may be participating in on a regular basis. Things like work, social life, time spent with working on your relationship or with your family, any hobbies that you may have, self-care, right? So that's going to be the basis of what we're looking at. Those things typically will contribute to your overall general happiness. Then we're looking, the next column over is going to give us the average amount of time a person spends during the day. Again, this is coming from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. So you may be ahead of that, you may be below that, but generally speaking, this is kind of where an average American would fall. And then we're looking at this from a short-term versus a long-term. Is this helping me accomplish my short-term goals? Is this, fulfilling me from a short-term happiness perspective? And then of course, long-term, how does that, contribute? And for me, you can see that this chart has a significant number of negatives. Either the activities and the things that I was doing at rock bottom were not contributing to, general happiness, or it could be a negative because I just simply wasn't doing it. So a really great example is self-care. I did not do a whole lot to take care of myself at all. On the contrary, if you follow our channel and you've watched other videos, I had a very active social life. So you'll notice that the short-term happiness is, a resounding positive, big shocker there, that I was living moment to moment, thinking I just needed to go out and party and have a good time. So for me, that average time on the social factor was probably significantly higher than everyone else in America, or at least my circle of friends. We were, socializing a lot. But generally speaking, this does not look favorable, and clearly this helps me visualize why I felt so unhappy, why I was unfulfilled, and really not moving towards what I wanted, because honestly, I wasn't sure what I wanted. I did not have a better vision or an idea of where I wanted to be going.
So now if we switch over to looking at the chart, now we can compare your short-term and long-term happiness on the same categories. We didn't update the average hours spent. We left those the same. But we did go through and have Katie answer the questions. Well, how happy are is your work activities now impacting your short-term happiness, and is it impacting your future self, your long-term happiness?
Plus, baby. Super positive. Yes.
Right. So you can see there's a lot more positives on this particular chart. Self-care is still negative. Why is that happening?
Because I prioritize my self-care last out of everything. I know. Don't listen. Do as I say, not as I do. Mentality over here. But self-care is still a bucket that
we need to work on.
Needs to be improved upon.
Right. So it's pretty easy to see between the previous chart and this chart. Katie wasn't very happy in her rock bottom, right? She had a lot. She was doing a lot of things. She was busy all the time. She had a lot more positives in her short-term happiness and fewer in her long-term happiness. When we look at her today, there's alignment between the things that she's doing to satisfy her short-term needs, and that they're also contributing to the long-term vision that she has for herself. So if we go back to what Peter Singer wrote about in his book, that tension between what I'm doing today and the vision that I have for myself in the future, we've applied it to our personal goals here, personal happiness. There's alignment now. And with alignment, the tension goes away. Like this angst and this feeling of stuckness can go away for us, and we are, as a result, happier, because the things that I do every day, the things that Katie does every day, now not only satisfy her short-term happiness, she gets a kick out of knocking it out of the park at the gym every day, it also contributes to her long-term health goals. And I think that's what we really want to accomplish. So,
yes, absolutely. So if you were like me, and perhaps maybe you're thinking and reflecting as you're going through this process that you're not really sure, like you haven't established your vision, you haven't established your goals, we've got another video where we talk about that, and we talk about how to build some routines. So we'll go ahead and link that here for you. And yeah, you can use that as another tool to help you on your journey. Okay, so we've got you this far. Now you're feeling really excited about this. You're going to go through the process. We need to cover the 5 things that are going to help you achieve happiness, move you in that right direction of where you are, feeling stuck, maybe unhappy, potentially depressed, anxious, all the things. And we're going to get you on the path to happiness. The very first thing that you need to do is create your vision. That's what was lacking for me.
It was lacking for me too.
And it was a game changer.
Yep. Yeah. I remember when we sat down and talked about our vision together for the first time over dinner at the Cheesecake Factory, or lunch at the Cheesecake Factory. And it was a great exercise, and it was really fun talking about our future together. So creating a vision is the first step. It's probably even the first step filling out this chart. If you don't have one, you should count it as a negative in the long-term happiness if you don't have a vision, and then you can make one and turn those negatives into maybe positives. Okay, so long-term vision is your first step. Second is defining the values that are important to you. Without those values, there's so many options on how to go about to achieve your vision. It's really important that you understand what your values are so you can make those decisions when those opportunities present themselves. Yes, I want to participate in activity A, or no, I don't want to participate in activity A because it doesn't align with my values. So I'm going to go search out other activities, tactics in order to achieve the vision that we set for yourself. So defining those values, making sure that you're clear on them, especially if you're in a relationship, making sure both of you are clear on what the values are, makes decision making faster, easier, simpler, all the things. Step number 3, setting goals.
So like Alan said, step number 3 is setting goals. Now we know our vision. We know what our core values are. How are we going to apply those to actually go out and achieve all of these things that are going to, lead to happiness? We do have a great ebook, as well as we've covered some goal setting topics in another video. We'll go ahead and link that up here. Go ahead and click that if you want to dive a little bit deeper. But you will find that we are a bit controversial in our approach, in so much that we do not agree with SMART goals having a time-bound element to them. If you set an exact amount of time to accomplish it, you will take and fill that amount of time. And we believe that you should just keep working at something with rigor until such time as you can check that box. So don't tell yourself like a New Year's resolution, I've got until December to go get this. Just get it as fast as you can. So goals, number 3.
Number 4 and 5 are really tied to each other, routines and habits. It is, I feel bad sometimes. Katie has to deal with all the routines I keep putting in place. We have a new goal, so that means a new routine, 100% for us. And I mean, in my opinion, that's the way it should be. But always, I'm a big proponent of that cue routine reward process that Charles Duhigg talks about in his book, The Power of Habits, and James Clear doubles down on in Atomic Habits. He makes a little slight change to it. But this idea of establishing a cue, building a routine, making sure you have that reward behind that routine so that eventually it becomes a habit. Eventually your body craves it, craves the routine, is really central to success in health. It's central to success in wealth, and it's central to success in happiness. Happiness is not achieved by accident. And you can see, if you go through this little exercise, how left to chance without a plan, it's very difficult to achieve happiness, especially long-term happiness, and we're just focused on the short term. But if we're deliberate about our actions and thoughtful about what we want for our future, we are just that much more likely to be successful in our pursuit of happiness. Happiness is not by accident. Happiness is a habit. So, our contention to you is, if you want to go through a similar transformation that I've gone through, or a similar transformation that Katie's gone through, you have to be purposeful in your thinking. Use this tool. It's a great little example. I'd love to, hear in the comments or read in the comments if you all give it a shot. Tell me what you think about it and what it maybe revealed to you, or maybe thought about happiness in a different way. It'd be really cool to hear that kind of feedback. So happiness is a habit, and it starts with us treating it as such. So
brilliant. Well, we look forward to hearing your success stories and joining you on this journey. Thank you for staying with us until the end of this video. If you haven't already liked, please go ahead and like this video for us. Subscribe to the channel if you're not a subscriber. And we will see you next time.